hope you are doing well wherever you are in the world. So today I am going to divide these Calathea. So I have the Calathea Lancifolia, which is a rattlesnake plant, and I love this. Now I just bought this 3 weeks ago, almost 4 weeks ago, and it has grown so much. I think it's almost double in size. So this is a really fast growing Calathea, and I love the underside of the leaf. How pretty that is. So what I want to do is get as many small plants out of this as possible, because I like to put them in these little pots and then put them into a bigger catch pot, or even like have this individual smaller pot and into the nice catch pot, and then I put them on the shelf because they're really, really pretty to look at, right? And if they're small enough, I can tuck them anywhere on a night table, or I'm gonna place this on my coffee table for the time being. I've got 2 of them set up, and then I also have another one here. Now this one is not as fast growing, but it's not too bad. This is also a Calathea. So let me just quickly, the Calathea Vittata, and this is also pretty as well. And again, I like smaller plants, all of these, and then once they're in the smaller plants, I can grow them and I can enjoy them on like the shelf or cabinets or on my coffee table. So before we begin, I've gathered all of my equipment. So I've got my watering can here. I've got this is a, I think 2.5 inch or 3 inch size pots where I'm going to plant each one of them in. And I've got my potting soil here, and there's nothing special to this. Now, I don't even know what kind of soil it is, but it's just regular soil mix that I use, that I don't use anything special here, okay? And just now, I did water the plants in really, really well. And you want to do that before you start dividing them, so that they have some time to soak up as much of the water as possible, so that you can begin working with them, because you want them to be well watered, especially when you're going to start taking them apart, right? So I'm going to set my camera up and start to work on. Okay, so I took it out of the pot, and I have this is just a shoe tray actually that I'm going to use to catch all the dirt in here. So hopefully you can see this, the way I have it set it up. So like I said, I just watered everything in, and you want it watered really, really well, just so that it's well watered. Because once you start working with the plant and putting it back together, it's going to have a hard time picking up all the water. So you want it well watered in as much as possible. So as you can see, this is where all the new roots are coming from. So this is a whole clump here, and I'm just going to take it all apart. It's going to put some of the soil back in here, so that you can see. Can you see that? I hope you're able to see that. And you want to be as gentle as possible. You don't want to start breaking it all apart. Just do it gently, and just remove all the extra soil and all of the fibrous root here. You want to keep as much of that as possible. And again, each one of these, I want like 3 pieces out of this. So now this is still quite a new plant, like I said, because I did just like buy it, right, 3 weeks ago. So I'm just kind of mumbling to myself here, and I don't want to cut anything. I just want to naturally tear it, like in between. I hope you can see that. Yeah, there you go. I've got a natural placement here. I'm going to start tearing it. Actually, if you have scissors, you can actually cut this as well. There you go. So I just kind of like gently pull it apart. There we go. So I've got 2 large clumps here, and then I'm going to even break this into smaller pieces. I mean, I could wait till it's much bigger to divide, but oop, that's okay. I can actually put this in water and get it rooted. So I've got 1 here, possibly 2. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to plant this back into its original pot, like here. So I'm going to put less of it out. I'm going to put that in, like that. And then fill it back up with soil. And then just kind of tuck some more soil in. And I'm gonna wait till I finish with all of the plants before I water everything back in. Now you don't want to pot it up with too much soil, and you always kind of leave a little lip at the top. And I like to do that because when I do water these in, I tend to water them in really, really well. So having a little lip at the top will help store more water, and then slowly the water can drain back down, right? And once you water, the level of the soil will probably go down, and then every once in a while when you lose some soil, you can always add more topsoil at the top. But usually I don't like to plant it too high. Do you see how I left, see that, the pot? I left a little bit lip at the top, just so that I can water in it really well, and that the water don't overflow and make a total mess of your any surface. So there you go. So I've got 1 plant which is done. So that's the original pot that I bought it in. I hope you could see that properly. There. So that's 1. So here's the original pot, like that. I'm just gonna put that in. There you go. So put that aside. I'm gonna water that in later. Now this one, as you can see, it doesn't have any root on it. So what I may do now is I'm gonna get a jar of water and just put it in. Let's see if there's any root on it, because usually if there's any root on it, you can actually plant it, but that doesn't look like that's gonna work. So it looks like I might not be able to get too many plants out of this. So what I might do now, see if I can get that. Oh, no. Okay, so it looks like I might be able to only get, oh, here. So I can get 2 more out of this, 2 more plants. I'm gonna use my hand just to top it in. So the same thing with this. I'm just gonna leave a little lip so I can water it in really well. And like I said before, if you lose some soil, you can always add more to the top later on, right? There you go. So I've got 2. I'm gonna put that in here. So there's 1 of them. I'm gonna plant up the other one. So I use a little, actually not a little, a big spoon. So you can do that, but you know what? Sometimes it's just kind of nice to be able to touch and feel the soil. So I'm gonna put the 3rd one in. There you go. So I've got another one. Like so. So I got two, right? 1 and 2. There you go. So I've got 2 of those. So I've got a clear glass jar of water here, which I'm going to put that plant that has no roots in. Okay, so let's just make sure that you have a jar that's clear. Now you want to place this somewhere in sort of not in direct sunlight, but in a bright window somewhere where you have some natural lighting, because the root development do need some natural light, okay, but not in direct sunlight. So make sure you move it away from direct sunlight and just in a bright window. Now here's a tip to help increase the development of your roots. Sometimes what I do is I take my spider plant. So I've got some spider plant that's suited here already. So what I do is I take one, sorry, I hope you can see that. I take one of these plants. Now I rooted these a couple weeks ago, and as you can see that they already have a lot of roots in here, right? So like I said, sometimes what I do is I put the spider plant in with another plant just to kind of help the other plant get rooted properly, because spider plants, as they produce root, they actually have the ability to release some rooting hormone. So the rooting hormone in the spider plant will help the Calathea root much faster. So anytime you want to increase the sort of ability of the other plant to produce root them in the same water medium as its spider plant, and that would help it. So that's a sort of a good tip that I do sometimes. I have a third one here that has some roots here as well, so I'm going to plant this one up as well. And I actually also have these 2. So I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to tuck these 2 in here with this plant. So the Calathea they get rooted so easily, so that should actually work as well. But I usually like to root them in water first, and then I plant them later on. So, and in no time, they will be large, healthy plants. Just gonna make sure they center everything, so. All potted. Okay, so I've got them 3 here. Can you see that? Sorry. Yeah. So what I will do now is I will water it in really well, right? Just to make sure that any excess water is going to be able to move to the bottom, the drainage hole. So make sure that you are planting it in a pot that's got nice drainage hole, so you can see that it needs to go and get well watered in. So I'm just gonna water it more. Let the excess water drain to the bottom. So I don't even actually have to remove all that excess water, because I have a central humidifier and it's set on at 45%. So even with 45%, I find that it's not enough for these Calathea. So they do try. To see the tips here? That shows that the environment is kind of dry, is not humid enough. So even leaving all that excess water on the bottom, I mean, it's not good for the soil. So what I could do is I put some gravel on the bottom there and then lift the pot up so that the pot is not directly sitting in the water, and then have that water vaporizes, and that produces a lot of humidity for these plants. Okay, so I've got the Vittata Calathea here as well. So again, it was well watered in. So I'm going to take it apart right now. Just gonna pull it out and look at the root system here. It's gonna remove excess soil so I can see how it's developing. It's gonna gently tease it apart. Again, I want to keep as much of the root as possible. Kind of tease it apart. Looks like I may not be able to get 3 or 4 plants out of this, so just going to it's kind of hard to see, but I hope you can see it. Again, I don't want us to use scissors. I just want to naturally tear it. Like, there you go. And just kind of pull it gently so you keep as much of the root as possible. So I can get easily 2 plants out of this, but I'm going to aim for at least 3. So I'm just going to see how I can break this. There you go. So it looks like I can get 1 small one here. There's 1 with 2 stems here. Let's see if I can get 2 more out of these. Yeah, just there you go. So I can easily, yep, I got 4 plants out of this. So I'm just going to start, I think I'll take the biggest one and put it back in the same soil medium. Like that. So I'm going to put that in. So this is how I have so many plants around the house, because when I buy 1, I turn it into 4. And I have them all over the house. So my goal was to make at least 3, and I think I got 4. That's more than I can ask for. And like I said, I don't want these plants to get too big. I know there are some plants you need to sort of, get them big, like snake plants, for example. I like them a little bit fuller. So I don't like them like thin. I like them like a big pot because they grow upright. Whereas these, they will expand and they grow like sideways. So I don't want the pots to get too big. And also these are so pretty up close. I like them smaller so I can place them like I said to you before, on cabinets or on coffee tables, or even like on my night table. I have lots of plants on my night tables too. It's kind of pretty. Or like upstairs in my bedroom, I have a little table and a little chair that I like to sit to read. And having all of these on that table, it's like just really makes the reading time so much more enjoyable. There you go. So I've got 1, oops, sorry. Can you see that? I've got 1 potted up in the original. Oh, look how dirty that is. I need to clean that up. But I'm so happy. I've got so many plants out of this. So there it is. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this plant. Look at the variegation on that. It's so pretty. So here's the original pot with all the extra water. I'm going to actually I'm going to leave it like that. I'll water back in later. 1 down. I'm going to pot these up. I hope you can see all of this. One of my biggest fear when I do this is that whatever I'm doing doesn't get recorded properly, which has happened many times. Or the other fear is I record and I accidentally delete it, because we tend to do that. I tend to do that sometimes. Or I record it, or I forget to press the record button. I'm not a pro at this yet, so I'm still learning. There you go. Or sometimes the lighting is bad, right? And you can't see what I'm doing. So I hope it is okay. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself right now, which I tend to do a lot of. Mumbling, talking to myself. Oh, there's one more plant down. See that? Oh. One down. I'm gonna put that in the pot. I'll show you the end product later. I'm gonna do the next one. Oh, I forgot to mention that this soil actually was given to me by a friend because I don't even have any more potting soil. So I forget what I lost. I mean, I took it out of the original bag, so I don't even know what the type of soil this is. But like, I think she told me it's just potting soil. Or I remember the original bag was in yellow, orange bag, and it was like just a regular soil. So when these get a little bit bigger, I could even give them away, right, to a friend or whoever that wants these. Because you can see, like, each of these plants, I think I bought them like 11. This one is like $11.99. I don't know why, but they're so expensive. They're rare, I guess. Not too many big box stores sell these. There you go. Second, well, actually third, actually. Two little baby. One back into the original, and this is the fourth one. I mean, these are tiny now, but I think in a few months' time, they're gonna grow so much bigger, and I am going to be enjoying them everywhere around the house. I think Calatheas has to be one of the most prettiest house plants ever. They have so many different varieties with so many different variegation. I don't know, they are so attractive to me. But I think the easiest plants, but they're not the easiest, sorry. They are so pretty, but they're not the easiest plants for me to grow in my home. Because like I said, I don't know if I told you earlier, but our house, I have a central humidifier set up at 45%. And every once in a while I checked and it does say still 45%. But even then these plants get dried out. So I think they might require a bit more humidity than what I can give it. So I might have to, I think some of the viewers in the previous comments said to buy another humidifier or two, which I might end up doing. But again, we're in lockdown right now, and anything that we buy, it's all curbside pickup. And I hate to go do curbside pickup especially when stuff like plants and stuff like that. So can't wait till garden centers open up again and I'm able to go shopping, because I love shopping for plants that I can touch and feel and see, right? Not that there's anything wrong with online or curbside pickup, but there's nothing better than walking around the nursery, enjoying the scenery, enjoying all the plants, and then buying what you like out of that as well. So there's the last one potted up. So I'm just gonna quickly clean this up and then come back and show you. Here is what I ended up getting. So I got 4 out of these Vitata plants, and I also got 4 out of that as well. And then over here, this is the one that didn't have any roots, so I'm rooting it in with the spider plant. And just in case I didn't mention, make sure you change the water out at least once a week, okay? So that the water is going to be clean, and that will continue to help the plant get rooted in properly. Otherwise, any bacteria or fungus will kill the stem. So make sure you clean the water out, like I said, at least once a week. I do it twice a week, but you can get away with at least once a week. Okay, so I'm just going to water all of these in. I did water the rattlesnake one already. I'm going to water in the rest of them. And again, you want to water these in really, really well, right? Because remember, I introduced soil that's completely dry. And this is the reason why I like to put plants in a catch pot like this, because there's space to sort of collect all the water. And then if I want, I can discard the water, the excess water that goes out to the bottom. Like with these, like I said before, I'm going to buy some rocks or some gravel, put that on the bottom, and then I'm going to raise the pots up so that it can sit on the rocks with the water, and that would help to increase the amount of humidity around these plants, which they do love. And again, these do take a lot of water. Anyhow, so I think I'm gonna stop the video here, and I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope it inspires you to start propagating more of your favorite Calathea plants in your home, so you have yourself a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.